What's good, y'all, man? It's Striving to Prosper here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to level up your gear the fastest way possible. For those who are new to Warframe, you will notice that there's a lot of Warframes and a lot of weapons in this game, and you know there's a lot of leveling up you need to do. So you're probably wondering, how do I do this the fastest way possible? Now, of course, most of you may realize that, yeah, when you play missions, you get XP for your weapons and your Warframes. But you probably already noticed that playing regular missions doesn't really cut it for you. It just takes too long. You're wondering, why does it take so long for me to rank up to 30? I played this mission for 20 minutes, I played this mission for 15 minutes, and I only went up like 10 levels. But it's the reason why you're on this video today, and I'll be showing you the most effective and efficient ways to rank up your weapons and your Warframes. Let's get into it. Now, because this is a beginner's guide, I want to get into depth with the information. So for those of you who already know or just don't care about this information, please feel free to use the timeline down below to skip to your desired section of the video. Now, with that all out the way, and before we get into the nitty gritty of the video, I want to explain Affinity to give you a better understanding in how to do this efficiently. So what is Affinity? Affinity is the game experience point system. It's how you level up your Warframes, weapons, companions, and other gear. Affinity is earned by killing enemies, completing objectives, hacking, using abilities, and more. Now, this is very important. The amount of affinity earned and how it's distributed depends on how the kill was made, whether it was by a Warframe ability or by weapon kills, and whether the kill was made by you or an ally. Let's break it down really quickly. When killing an enemy with your Warframe's ability, 100% of the affinity goes to your Warframe. When killing an enemy with a weapon, 50% of the affinity goes to your Warframe and 50% of affinity goes to your weapon that you use to kill the enemy. And if your teammate kills an enemy, you'll receive a portion of the affinity if you're within a shared affinity range, which is 50 meters. In this case, the affinity is split 25% to your Warframe and 75% to your equipped weapons. This step is very important and crucial for weapon leveling, and I'll explain all about it very soon. Now, with that being said, here are some ways for maximizing self-affinity gain. Affinity boosters are very important. If you have the necessary platinum, consider buying an affinity booster to double the affinity gain. You will most likely always see me with an affinity booster because it helps me in a lot of ways when it comes to leveling up my weapons, my Warframes, or any other gear, and you should have them too. Now, I know, what if you don't have the necessary platinum to buy the boosters? Well, don't worry, because there is another way, and I would recommend you to do this method every day if possible, and that is by going to relays. Go to any busy relay and politely request in the relay chat for any affinity booster blessings. There's a chance that you will receive a blessing from anyone in the relay if they are master rank 30 or higher. If no one sends one, then just wait for a bit and you should most likely receive one very soon, since people always give out blessings. When you finally receive a blessing of any kind, preferably the affinity blessing, they last for 3 hours. And the cool thing about them, they stack. So let's say you did purchase an affinity booster. That will stack with the booster that you got from the blessing with the booster that you purchased, giving you even more affinity when you level up your weapons and your Warframes. Oh, and another thing to keep in mind for your affinity blessings or any blessings of any kind, they only have 3 hours. So if you have 1 hour left, let's say your affinity booster has an hour left and someone gift you another affinity booster, it would just go back to 3 hours. It won't go to 4, or if you have 3 hours and you were gifted another affinity booster, because sometimes these relays, they be giving them out like it's candy. So no, unfortunately, they don't double or triple. They will just remain at 3 hours. It will just reset the clock. Another thing that can help with affinity gain is a Smeeta Kavat. These can significantly increase your affinity gain rate, so definitely try to get a Smeeta Kavat. In order to get a Smeeta Kavat, you need a Kavat incubator upgrade segment, 10 genetic codes, and a reactor. Now, in order to get the genetic codes, you need to scan feral Kavats in infested Orokin Tower, which is in Demos. You can play any infested Orokin mission or Demos except for Assassination, because that's the boss fight only, so you won't really see any Kavats there. And when you finally get to the Kavats, you want to make sure you pick an invisible frame, because scanning for those feral Kavats can be a pain in the behind. That's because once they see you, they're going to try to attack you. They're going to be running all over the place. They are hard to scan. So I would definitely bring an invisible frame so your scanning would be painless. Not to mention, if I remember correctly, you're not guaranteed a genetic code for each scan. So That's also more pain if you wasted so much time trying to scan the Kavat. You finally got to scan the Kavat, no genetic code, so you wasted your time. So definitely pick an invisible frame and do yourself a favor to make your life so much easier. Head over to Cephalon Samaris. You can go to any relay to find them, and you want to buy the Cross Matrix widget for your synthesis scanner. This gives you a chance for each scan with the synthesis scanner to count as 2 scans, and it gives you a 45% chance for that 2 scan. So this would help you a lot when it comes to scanning for Kavat codes. Also, for my newer players, if you play the Sands of Inaros quest, there's a lot of Kavats that spawn in there, so you can scan those and do yourself a huge favor. That will save you so much time. So if you have the Sands of Inaros quest and you're a beginner and you're playing that quest, scan those cats, get those genetic codes. And once you get the right amount of codes, then you have to incubate the Kavat, and hopefully you get a Smeeta Kavat. If you don't get a Smeeta Kavat and you keep trying and you just don't get them, then I would recommend buying an imprint from someone off the trade chat. Most likely they sell for maybe 15, 20 plat, and you can get a guaranteed Smeeta imprint right there. So hopefully you can get it. If you can't, just buy them, and there you go. Next is by equipping fewer weapons. If you want to maximize your affinity gain for a particular weapon, equip only that one weapon in your loadout. You will max out your weapons so much faster that way. Keep this method in mind because we're going to be right back to this. And the 50 meters we were talking about with the affinity range is really beneficial because if you stay within that range, you can benefit from the shared affinity from their kills. When playing with a squad, this will be your main source of affinity. You benefit way more playing with a squad rather than solo on certain occasions, and this is something else that I'm going to touch up on real soon. Now, since we covered everything you need to know about affinity, let's talk about the most effective missions to rank up. This includes solo and with a squad. For my tenno who prefer to play solo and would like to level up extremely fast, then these stages are for you. Now, with this being a fast way to level up guide, the solo methods are strictly for Warframes since they require more affinity to reach max rank. For weapons, you're way better off just playing with a squad, but we'll get into that soon. So for solo Warframe leveling, there are 2 primary places you want to go. The first place is located on Sedna called Adaro. It's an extermination mission. This is the famous focus farm as well, and you'll need a helmet in your ship and have an Equinox subsumed for her Rest and Rage ability. Be sure to also have her augment mod, Calm and Frenzy. It's a Rest and Rage augment. Killing an affected enemy causes the effect to spread to enemies within 5 meters for 100% of the remaining duration. And as far as the build goes, this is typically what you want to have. Now the aura I put Briefer Sprite because that's just what fits. You can put enemy radar, but you want to have some sort of enemy radar or enemy sense. You want to see everyone on your map. You don't want to get caught lacking. And I went for range because it synergizes really good with Calm and Frenzy. The more enemies that you put to sleep, the better because you won't get seen easy. And I upped up the duration a little bit too so they can stay asleep for a lot longer. And don't worry about efficiency because as soon as you start in this game at rank 0 and you kill like maybe 1 or 2 enemies, you're going to rank up. And this is what Prime Flow is used for the energy max. So as soon as you rank up, you're going to top off your energy. You're going to be at full energy and you're never going to run out throughout the remainder of the game because you're going to be spamming this move. This move is going to be spammed all the time. So efficiency isn't really important because you're going to always have energy. So don't worry about efficiency. And be sure to change the emissive color on your Warframe to a darker color to signify the darkness. That means you'll put them to sleep. And then for a brighter color for daytime, it makes them more agitated with rage. So make sure the color is dark. It only needs to be on the first square. You don't have to do both, just one of them. And the best way to tell if it's dark or light, that symbol next to emissive. If it's hollow, that means it's light. And if it's filled in, that means it's dark. Then you can choose any melee of your choice. I would highly recommend the Skajati for invisibility when doing a finisher. Here is the build, and be sure to equip Killing Blow for that 120% melee damage on heavy attack. For the focus tree, we'll be using Naramon. This gives us 45% more melee affinity with every kill with your melee weapon. Now you can equip your Smeeta Kavat if you want extra affinity gain, but do so at your own risk. Sometimes the Kavat draws unnecessary attention and completely blows your cover, so please be careful with this. Now let's head into the mission. No need to play on Still Path because they are higher in level and we want to do this as quick as possible, and it really doesn't make a difference. The goal here is to stack up the stealth bonus. If done correctly, when you kill an enemy undetected, you'll gain 100% stealth affinity bonus for 30 seconds, capping at 500% as long as you remain undetected. This is insane because killing enemies with that 500% bonus, you'll get tons of affinity per kill, and you'll get an even bigger amount when killing an Eximus unit since they give out more affinity on death. So what you're pretty much seeing me do here is I put the enemies to sleep. That means they won't see me even if I get close to them, and I assassinate them. This is pretty much all you have to do to build the stealth bonus up, and when you build up to 500%, just keep killing the enemies, remain undetected as much as possible, and you're gonna see how fast you can level up your Warframes with all the affinity you earn from this mission. Now, quick tip, if the enemy is alert, and the best way to tell if an enemy is alert or not is by looking at your map, and if you see like a little dot in between the arrow, that means that they think something's up, they suspect something's up, they either saw a dead body, they heard a sound, so they're on the lookout. Killing them will reset all of your stealth bonus, so you do not want to kill them. Leave them alone, go into another area if you can sneak off, kill enemies with a hollow arrow, and then if you want to double back, you can double back, but remember you have 30 seconds, so you want to be quick. And if I haven't mentioned before, each stealth kill resets the timer to 30 seconds, so it will be at 30 seconds as long as you can remain killing the enemies. And once you've done this properly and you killed every enemy with the 500% stealth bonus, you should see that you reach level 20 on your Warframe, maybe 21. And that is very good, because once you hit rank 20 on your Warframe or your weapon, the affinity will carry it out to level 30 when you complete the mission. But that's only if you complete the mission. If you quit or you fail the mission, you will not get the affinity. Now, if you reach level 20 and you fail the mission or you quit the mission, you will be at rank 20, but you won't get that affinity. You need to complete the mission to get the affinity. The affinity is what's going to carry you to the next level. And there you go. That's how you do it. And the more you play this, the better you're going to get and the quicker you'll finish the mission. The quickest I've ever done this was about, I'd say, 3.5 minutes. That's really quick to leveling up a Warframe from rank 0 to 30. 3.5 minutes is really good. You can also play this with a friend if you want to help them level up. It's best to play with one person though, because there's not enough enemies for all of you guys. So all you would do is you will put them to sleep and they'll kill the enemies while they're asleep. Or if you don't have the materials to do it yourself, you can ask one of your friends to help put them to sleep and you kill them and you go from there. It's pretty much the same concept. The next solo method is my personal favorite because it's cost efficient and it can be done faster if played correctly. And that's by heading over to the Plains of Eidolon. All you need is an Archwing and a strong bow, preferably the Nautilus since that's what many players use. Here's the build. Make sure your bow is max rank, and like I stated before, only have one weapon equipped so your affinity goes mainly towards your Warframe. And once you're done and ready to head over to the Plains of Eidolon, be sure to play solo so no other Tennos can get in your way. Once you've arrived, before you do anything, go to your options and head over to the accessibility settings and scroll down till you see character highlighting. Enable enemy highlights and choose a nice vibrant color, something that's easy to see when it's daytime and the nighttime, because we will have to be pretty high up in the sky and enemies can be out of sight, so we want to make sure that we can see them clearly. Now we can get started. This works very similar to the previous method on Sedna. We want to go for stealth affinity bonus, but with a little catch to it. We want to prioritize going for Eximus units to speed this up, fly up high enough to where enemies can't see you. Even when you kill an enemy right in front of them, it won't matter because you are out of their range and they won't be able to tell what's going on. And once you've obtained a nice height, just shoot anyone in sight to build up the stealth bonus. And right before the arrow makes contact, you want to dismount your Archwing so when you kill the enemy, the affinity goes towards your Warframe and not your Archwing. And of course, this is a great way to level up your Archwing if you are wondering. There are usually 1 Eximus units in each camp, so you want to quickly fly around and kill as many Eximus units as you can to rank up your Warframe. When leaving a camp, those enemies will respawn when you make your way back, so be sure to utilize that. Now be careful because there are times where you may be spotted in a camp and there's this type of glitch where you will lose your stealth affinity when killing any more enemies in the camp. Even if you have left and came back and they respawned as a new batch, for some strange reason, it's like they're still alert even when it shows that they don't see you. So be careful with that. That happens rarely, but if you notice it, I would just try to avoid that area for a while and just go to the other camps. And like I said before, just get up to rank 20, extract the mission, and the affinity will carry you up to 30, and that's it. Keep practicing this. The more you play, the better you'll get and the quicker you'll get. You should be able to get this done in about 3 minutes, maybe less, depending on how fast you are, how many Eximus units you can kill. But this is literally the best method to rank up your Warframes in the quickest way possible. And when we head over to the end of the mission, like you see here, it says I got done in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. That's not the legit time. I was also explaining everything to you guys, getting you up to speed, showing you about the character highlights. So I did waste about, I'd say maybe 5 6 minutes on this, because I think it pretty much took me about 3-4 minutes to get this done. That's how quick you can get it done. It should never take you 9 minutes. If it takes you about 8 to 9 minutes, that's okay, because you're probably new to it, starting out for the first time or whatever, but it shouldn't take you any longer than 4 minutes. If it does, just keep riding it out till you get done. Just get to rank 20 and leave. Just make sure you don't get caught, make sure you're not messing up, and that's all you got to do. Now that's everything you need to know about the Warframe grind. Now let's talk about the last method for the weapons, and that's by playing the Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. This is the easiest method and doesn't really require a lot of work. All you need is to bring yourself in a weapon that you want to upgrade, and that's it. This is by far the fastest way to rank up your weapons in the entire game. You want to make sure you're playing in a public lobby so you can gain more affinity for your weapon. And it makes it easier if someone on your team has a Siren, a Mirage, or Bolt, anyone that can kill enemies really quickly. And if the stage is really good, this week the first wave isn't really the best, but the second wave is so much better because it's a huge area and enemies spawn all over the place, and that's how you get all of your affinity the quickest way possible. The more enemies that die, the more affinity you gain. There's been many times where I went from rank 0 to rank 30 with my weapon in literal seconds, like 30 to 40 seconds flat, max rank 30. That's how simple it is. We had the perfect map. The Warframes that we had on our team was able to kill everybody fast. The enemies were spawning at a good rate. Just everything was going our way. So literally go get you an affinity blessing. If you have an affinity booster that you purchase, that's even better. Stack them up and you'll be done in no time. If you need to form your weapon, let's say 5, 6, 7, 8 times, you can get that done in under an hour. Now, like I said, it depends on the week. So don't beat yourself up if you can't get to rank 20 in the first zone. That is pretty rare. You should always hit rank 20 in the first zone. And once you hit rank 20, just leave and then boom, it will cap you out at 30 and you're all good to go. And of course, for my tenno who want to actually do the work and want to help their friends out or want to help just randoms in the public lobby out, you can use this build for my Mirage. I subsume Dispensary from Protea. This is a build that can kill enemies really quickly. Mirage is actually a favorite for this. Siren's a favorite. Volt's a favorite. You can use any Warframe you want, but this is the build that can get the kills very quickly, and you're going to be ranking your friends up very fast. I hope this video helped you understand everything you need to know about Affinity and how it works and the fastest ways to rank up your Warframes and your weapons. For those of you guys who stuck it out to the end of the video, just know it means a whole lot to me and I greatly appreciate that. Please like and subscribe if you felt like I've earned it, and please leave a comment down below if you have any questions, concerns, or tips you'd like to add yourself. Remember, all feedback is great feedback. We're on our journey to strive and prosper until we thrive. I want to thank you all for watching. Please have a great day, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace out, man. We striving to the top until we thriving. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace out, man.